45 here, and today we're going to go over a few of the films I've watched recently. They're all on Letterboxd if you want to see all my grades and ratings, so yeah. I'll start off with the one I downright hated that I watched recently, Assassination Nation. How to describe this film? So, there are ways to use neon in a film, like, without using it too much. Like, Drive is a good example. Drive uses a perfect amount of neon. Manhunter 2, where the neon in Manhunter is just amazing. Same with Thief, Miami Vice, Black Hat, all of Michael Mann's films pretty much. Same with Refn, Only God Forgives, even though it's a bit style over substance, has a great use of neon. Assassination Nation, here's the best way to describe it. It takes a paint can of neon, just imagine it's a paint can, and throws it at the screen, and just keeps doing it. And it gets to a point where there's a scene at a party, and it is horrible. It's hard to look at. The visuals are bad. The script is bad. And as a satire, it's horrible. It tries so hard to be like a Paul Verhoeven satire where it's Paul Verhoeven satires are perfect. Never mind. It doesn't even deserve to be compared to a Paul Verhoeven satire. But it just fails on every level. I moved it down to a 0.5 out of 10, honestly. My score used to be 1 out of 10, but yeah, it's just a 0.5 out of 10. I hated it. It's atrocious. But yeah, the next film I'll be talking about is Begone Don't Care. It's a fun little short. It's got this cool way it introduces jazz music into the way it animates. I'd recommend watching it. It's free on YouTube. It's well worth it. Then I also watched Breathe for the first time recently, which is... I'm not going to say anything about any plot details. Just watch it. It's one of the most intense movies I've seen in a long time. It's also one of the films directed by Melanie Laurent, who is a great actress, and she can also direct, which is pretty impressive. Most people don't end up being an actor and a director, but she pulls it off here perfectly. The final 30 minutes is just jaw-droppingly good. I don't want to say anything else about it. Just go in blind and get ready because it is intense. It's not a masterpiece, but it is really close to it. Please check out Breathe. It's well worth your time. And it's in French, so if you have trouble with subtitles, I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah. Now on to a few rewatches. Possession, I think I rewatched twice. Possession is my favorite film at the moment. It's just perfect. Isabella Adjani gives my favorite performance in a film ever, closely followed by Jack Nicholson in The Shining. But that subway scene, holy crap, that subway scene hits me every time. That scene is peak cinema. No, the entire film is just peak cinema. It doesn't get better for Possession for me after Possession. Well, it's Possession and Twin Peaks The Return are the top two for me at the moment. You cannot get better than those two. If you've seen them, you know what I mean. But yeah, Possession, it's just a masterpiece. I'm planning to watch On the Silver Globe soon, by Zawalski as well, because Possession was just... The fact that I've rewatched it 3 times now, and I just watched it for the first time last year should show you how much I love it. But yeah, Possession. Now, onto the 2 Michael Mann rewatches, I believe. Collateral. Collateral really connected with me on this watch. It was a favorite before, but now it's like high tier favorite. It just hit hard with me. The club shootout is amazing. Max's character is amazing. The neon is outstanding in the film. However, if you've seen Miami Vice, Collateral is basically toned down Miami Vice. Like, it's pre-Miami Vice Mann, because after Miami Vice happened, Mann took a major turn in what he was doing, and he became probably the most fascinating director of the most recent decades. Mann is just fascinating in general, though. But yeah, Collateral, absolute masterpiece. It's been a favorite for a while, but it went up recently. And Tom Cruise as Vincent is amazing. Then Miami Vice, which I also rewatched. It's a perfect film. Like, it was in my top 10 last year. I don't know if it would make it this year, but it's just so good. Like, everything just comes together perfectly. Like, that's the best way I can put it. Like, everything comes together perfectly. From the music, to the direction, to the characters, to the literal crime plotline, which isn't even the main focus. Well, the crime plotline is sort of the main focus, but it's not the real main focus if you're paying attention. But yeah, Miami Vice, just an absolute masterpiece for Mann. Now on to 2 more rewatches from a different director, Wong Kar-wai. Chungking Express. I watched this film on my break, and I adore Chungking Express. Like, it's... A lot of people do have some issues with how he films the opening with the shaky, like, faded out people as Maggie Cheung is running. But I personally love that. Like, it fits the tone, atmosphere, and mood of everything just perfectly. And Chungking Express, it's just a classic. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's got one of the most loving atmospheres you'll see in a film. It's just one of the most love-filled films you'll ever see. Then on to my favorite Wong Kar-wai, which I also rewatched for Valentine's Day, 2046. So compared to Chungking Express, Chungking Express gives you a happy ending, but 2046, Dion Nguyen puts it perfectly in his Letterboxd review. He just says Wong Kar-wai takes no prisoners in this film, and it's true. Like, Wong Kar-wai is just absolutely merciless in this film. Like, literally, the opening romance has this... I don't want to spoil it, because every moment of 2046 is utter perfection. But how the first... It isn't even a relationship, but how it ends in the hotel room is just so brutal. Then how it goes on, and then you get that final ending scene where that character just breaks down, and it cuts back to the title card. Not the title card, the title scene, I guess. 2046, it's in my top 10. I don't think it'll ever leave it. But yeah. Now, on to the final film I'll be talking about, First Reformed, which I first time watched, by Paul Schrader. Now, if you saw my Mishima review, I absolutely adore Mishima Life in 4 Chapters. Like, it's been one of my favorites ever since I first saw it as well. But First Reformed is just like... It's mind-blowingly good. Like, that final 20 minutes in the church where... I really don't want to spoil it. But everything... No, okay. So, the best way I can talk about this without spoiling it is as soon as the magical mystery tour scene happens, the entire film just becomes non-stop tension. Like, I mean, saying it's non-stop tension is an understatement. It's just pure tension because you're afraid of what a certain character might do. Because, well, the Magical Mystery Tour gives you an idea of his descent into what he's going to do. And then it's just like an improved version of Taxi Driver. Like, again, I adore Taxi Driver, but I think First Reformed just does that. It does it similar to how Taxi Driver did it, but it does it way better in my opinion. And again, I love Taxi Driver, but it needs a rewatch. But yeah, First Reformed, it's just mind-blowing. Like, go watch it. It's one of the best films of this decade, honestly. It's the second or third best film of 2017 because Twin Peaks: The Return just owns 2017. Nothing beats Twin Peaks: The Return in terms of 2017 for me. But yeah, I want to talk about one last film. I was originally going to have that be my last, but I remembered one more, Before Midnight. So this is the end of the Before trilogy, and it's just depressing. Like, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there's the ending fight between Celine and Jesse is just like, it's soul crushing because if you follow the previous two films, it's all hopeful and cheerful and dreamy in those films. But Before Midnight breaks that feeling completely and just throws you into reality. And then it's the masterpiece of the trilogy in my opinion. Before Sunrise had its fair share of issues, but it was still really good. Before Sunset, I only really had a few issues with. I had a few issues in the opening. But overall, Before Sunset was near perfect. But Before Midnight was perfect. Like, Linklater perfected everything. Like, it's just this perfect build up to that final scene in the hotel when everything looks like it could end happily. Then a character says something that he shouldn't have, and then it all breaks down. But yeah, I adored Before Midnight. Again, it's another favorite without a doubt. But yeah, that's what I watched recently. I hope you enjoyed this video. I may be doing a few single reviews, but currently I've just got a few projects I've got building up. Like, I'm gonna do my Michael Mann video eventually because I have to finish up his filmography first because again, I want to judge it off his whole filmography. It won't be a ranked video, it'll just be me discussing Mann's films because I pretty much adore them all from what I've seen. But then I've also got another video like this probably coming, I don't know, like next month, where I'll just talk about the stuff I watched recently. But yeah. And then I've got a video on Keanu Reeves coming up too. Once I watch the two films I need to for it, I'll just release it. Actually, no, I should probably watch the Matrix films too, then it'll be fully complete. Oh, then I'll be doing the video on the Wachowski sisters films. I only need to see Jupiter Ascending, and I'll be done with their whole filmography. But yeah, I love the Wachowskis. I adore the Matrix trilogy. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Stay safe, stay quarantined, and have a good day.